Well, actually, just on that, I guess, Trent, do you feel as though you're starting to build that momentum, throughout this block? Last week's performance was really impressive.
Yeah, we've probably been clear for around about 6 weeks. We started the season well, good start to the season, but combinations started to pick up around sort of week 6, week 7. And yeah, I think we've seen those performances over a period of time. It's just balancing up what we want in attack and defence. So we're in the middle of that. Yeah, as I said, one more game until the bye. So we really want to nail Sunday.
It's I guess moving into that second part of the season, I guess, the origin period, the Roosters have always, and yourself as coach, has had a really strong reputation of timing and building momentum at the right time of year. How do you do that? How do you have that patience to, want the best from your team at the start of the year and obviously get everything right, but have the patience to know that things take time as well?
Yeah, I mean, you obviously, there's 3 parts to that. You want to start the season well so you're in a decent position. You want to play really good performances during the origin period, and then you want to nail the back end of the year. And to nail the back end of the year, you need to be in a good position at the start of the year. So that's a big part of Sunday, is making sure we go into that in a good position going into the bye, and then play some players that don't usually play during this origin period, and then set our sights post-origin. So we've probably like to be a couple of spots higher, but the footy we're playing have been impressed with what we've done. Probably our best start of the year for many years.
Yeah, and plenty of standout players as well, playing really good footy, like Teddy being an obvious one last week, 2 tries, 3 assists, outstanding game. Were you surprised when he wasn't picked for the Blues?
Yeah, obviously. He's been outstanding to start this year, one of the best players in the competition, and so yeah, you definitely understand. You expect for him to be back in there again, but then also one of the most outstanding players in the competition as well has been Dylan Edwards. So that conversation comes up, and then just it's a selection for the coach. You can't make a poor choice there. It's just it's really hard when you care about a guy and he's been in outstanding form, and he's done nothing to lose his jersey, but. I know he feels also the same way. Dylan Edwards is an outstanding player, and I know obviously he wishes him the best.
That's actually a really good point, because Dylan actually said Teddy was one of the first guys to message him and sent him a really nice message about how he's going to enjoy Origin footy. I guess not that it would ever be a knock on confidence not getting picked in Origin, but clearly Teddy views it the same way in terms of. He's playing great footy, but there's another option out there too.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the utmost respect for Dylan, and there's a bit of pride in the way that someone hands over their jersey as well, and Dylan has gone out there and earned it as well. So, but Teddy, that's the thing that a lot of people look at it as sort of black and white, good and bad. One was playing good, one wasn't. They've both been. Probably in the top 3 or 4 form players in the competition to start the year, and it made it a difficult choice, I'd imagine. But Teddy's just going to keep going out and doing what he does. He's been doing that his whole career, so he's not a player that ebbs and flows based on how he feels. He just continues getting on with his job, and he's professional about how he congratulates other players as well.
What kind of opportunity as the club coach do you think this gives someone like Teddy? You hear players speak about how physically demanding, obviously, Origin is, and the Origin period in terms of going back and forth at club level. I guess what's the benefits of having a nice clean run, not just for the side, we'll talk about that in a moment as well, but just personally for his game to be here week in, week out as well?
Yeah, look, obviously having a week off next week compared to playing Origin is a benefit physically for him. But I feel like that's up to myself and him to handle it well. So over the years, we've been able to rest him. He's still been, I think Lindsay won it last year, but for the previous 5 years, he's been our best player year in, year out. So it's about us managing that if they do play Origin, and if he doesn't, then he gets the rest and he can deliver for the Roosters each weekend.
How great is it to have his leadership here at club level through this time?
Yeah, he's been extra special this week. Just a lot of people ask you questions when you don't get selected, so he's had a lot of comments and how do you feel and all of that. And Teddy it's been nice for him to get that, but he's also just got back to training. He's more of an introverted leader as well, so he's just got about doing his work at training, and he's been great this week again. So it was great to have him.
There was a few new names, a few new faces named in your extended squad.
Yeah.
Do you see any of those guys going to run this week?
Yeah, Blake Steep's going to play, a young kid from Port Macquarie, come through our academy. So he got SG Ball Player of the Year this year and played a couple of reserve grade games, so he's going to be on the bench. So that's a real positive, and we've got a few of our SG Ball players that are in the extended squad there. So that's been a real positive for our club, for the SG Ball team, and then also the academy that we've sort of built here. And they're producing guys that are ready to play professionally. So it's been a nice week having them in and around, more around the squad.
I haven't seen Blake play, but I've read a bit about him this week, and two phrases that come up a lot is his leadership and also his toughness as well.
Yeah, he typifies that those sort of locks that we've had come through and back rowers, in a bit like Rads and Boyd and those type of players that love their defence. They've got a really good tackling style. They keep working, but they've also got some leg speed, and that's going to get them through small spaces. So it's looking forward to getting him out there.
What was it like when you got to tell him?
Yeah, they're always some of the special moments of your role is when you see that sort of sparkle in their eye when the realisation is that you're saying that you're actually going to play on Sunday. So and then you see the joy in everybody else as well when you tell the team and his mates, and it's their energy-giving moments, that's for sure.
I guess you guys again with a lot of players involved in Origin, that's the benefit of it, right? Like, do you view this kind of time of year of having younger guys come in as a really good chance to plan for the future and just kind of expose them to what else?
Yeah, this is one of the best times of the year because your players get to represent the club in State of Origin, but then also you get to see what your club's like, not just the NRL team, but your wider club. Have the junior grades, reserve grade, SG Ball, Fleg, have they done a good job in preparing those players to come through? And some of my favourite games over the years have been during the Origin period because of those guys debuting or playing their first games for the club and their performances.
I guess the Cowboys may be the most players in Origin potentially.
Yeah, I think 6, yeah.
Yeah, and you guys obviously a lot of players involved in Origin as well, but on paper a lot of people looking at this game is the Roosters being the overwhelming favourites. Is there a challenge in the Origin period coming up against sides who might be without more key players than others? Yeah,
we've dealt with this year on year with players being out, and as I said, it's a really important time for the club. So there is a focus on opposition and how they play, but the pure focus for us is on how we want to play. How do we integrate some of those? We've had 5 guys out this week. I'm still unsure whether Kiri's going to come back. So we'd like to think that's the case, but your combinations get moved around, and it's great. It's what you should be doing at training anyway, but sometimes don't as much as you like. So our focus tomorrow is to lay one more Roosters performance on the line before we take a breath. So it's pretty key on our drive towards Sunday.
That's a good point about Kez. When do you find out?
Yeah, it should be today sometime, this afternoon. I think they're training today, so we should find out a bit more this afternoon.
What do you reckon, guys? Any questions from them?
Good. All right, thanks. Thanks for that.